saved altogether £45,000. That's not to say that that's all I have in my savings, by the way. It is a good idea generally to make sure that you have enough money remaining after you've purchased the property, because obviously nobody knows what may happen. Spend all you've got. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as promised, this week I'm doing a Q&A. So I threw out a question sticker on my Instagram story about a week ago, asking you guys precisely what you'd like to know about my house purchase journey. So I'm going to get straight into it and answer the questions that you guys have thrown my way. People have just said, you know, tell me everything, I want to know everything. And so if you do, as opposed to just repeating what I said in my last video, if you could just click back to my previous video, you'll see the process and my journey in terms of buying the house. You'll get to know all the details, essentially everything that I basically went through in trying to get this house. So question number one, how much did you save in total, including all the random costs? So in total, I saved £40,000 for my mortgage deposit, but in my mind, I added an additional £5,000 on top, just as like a buffer, just because I knew that there were going to be a lot of other costs involved in terms of buying a house. So that 5k included things like my solicitor fees, potentially mortgage brokers or advisors if I'd need to pay any, and just other little things that you never know that might pop up. So yeah, in total, I sort of factored in about 45k for the whole house buying process. However, to give you guys an accurate figure in terms of how much I actually spent in buying the house, it was £41,111.12. So solicitor fees, they pretty much make up the most of your costs outside of the mortgage deposit itself, because obviously your solicitors will liaise between you and the buyer and the buyer's solicitors. They may also work with your estate agents, and they'll also act on behalf of your mortgage lender in terms of processing your mortgage and making sure everything is ready for you to complete. When saving for your property, you also want to factor in enough money to cover your first mortgage payment. So this is especially for those who want to be landlords. So although your idea may be to get tenants in to pay the mortgage for you, you still need to factor in that maybe for the first month or even 2 months you may not have a tenant. And even if you are able to get a tenant like sooner rather than later, you still need to factor in the time between when they'll move in and when they'll be required to make their first payment of rent. As well as this, your solicitors will do things like carry out all the checks on the property to make sure that the area that you're buying your property in and the land that it's on is okay, and there's no risk of anything potentially happening in the future. So they're looking at the lands, they're looking at the roads, they're looking at the water in the property, they're looking at planning regulations, and basically anything that may potentially have an impact on your property or affect you in any way. Question number two, how long did it take you to save? So it took me precisely 2.5 years to save my mortgage deposit. That was from like August 2015 to January 2018. So again, as I mentioned in one of my other videos, well, my vlog video showing you guys around the house, yeah, essentially I'd had my deposit from about last year January, but I was just sort of caught in between trying to find the location I wanted to buy in, whether I was going to buy the house that I wanted to or just settle for a flat, because obviously when you're looking at how much you've got in comparison to what's on the market and available, it kind of seems like what you may have wanted may not be achievable within your budget. So anyway, I was sort of battling between. Question number three, are you still going to stay at home? Yes, I am going to stay at home. This property has been bought as an investment property only. I'm going to rent it out to tenants to pay the mortgage. To be honest, it has given me a taste for wanting my own place, and so maybe perhaps the next one I get, I may consider moving into it by myself. But at this point in time, I'm just looking to build up a portfolio. So that's my goal right now. So yes, I'm staying put in my family household for now. Next question, the process of getting a buy-to-let mortgage. What's a good amount to save? I can't really advise on what a good amount to save is. I would just say you first need to start off by identifying what it is that you want. Do you want a house or do you want a flat? If you want a flat, you're going to have to remember to factor in costs like service charges and other things that come with a flat that you'll need to pay for. You also need to remember the fact that when you buy a flat, you're going to have a leasehold. So you need to think about whether the lease remaining on the property is going to be sufficient enough for you to basically make the money that you want to make in the short term. Because at the end of the day, as a leasehold, it's not yours forever. I still find the flat thing a bit more confusing, which is why I kind of wanted to stay away from it. and just stick with a house. But anyway, think about how many bedrooms you want in a house. As it's a rental property, you want to factor in whether you want to rent out each of the rooms individually or whether you want to rent it out as a single family household sort of place. So that's the first place to start. After that, you can start doing research in terms of how much these sort of properties are going for in the areas that you're looking at. So that was what will help you decide how much you need to save. And then once you figured out how much your deposit is going to be for a property of that type, then you want to add on, I mean, I added on an additional 5k as a buffer. You may not need as much as that, but I just felt like that would give me a lot of wriggle room and make me feel comfortable. Next question is what to look out for when looking for a rental property. What to look out for. So for me, in terms of looking for a rental property, I was making sure that it was close enough to a train station, as in walking distance to a train station. People easily travel in and out from London there. If you're looking to get a household for students even, you've got to make sure that, again, it's in close proximity to the university, because obviously students want ease and comfortability. So yeah, definitely making sure it's in close proximity to their university or campus. If you're looking at families, you need to make sure that there's schools nearby, supermarkets nearby, and just making sure that it's not too far out of town and not like in the middle of nowhere. Those are the things that I look out for in a rental property. You also want to look at places that wouldn't require too much work unless you're going to get it for a decent price. So something that is reasonably cheap and then you can build on to make it to a satisfactory standard. Next question is, how long did you save? Overview of the process. What did you get versus have to compromise on? So again, how long did I save for? I saved, I managed to save my mortgage deposit in 2.5 years. Overview of the process. If you link over to my previous video, I'm talking end to end, everything from the start to the finish. So the entire process is there for you. What did I get versus have to compromise on? What did I compromise on? I mean, to be honest, maybe the number of rooms in the property. So initially, I started off wanting a 2-bedroom house, and then I saw that there were some 3 bedrooms available also in the area that I was looking for around the same price. So I did really want a 3-bedroom house, and then even on the one that I've settled on, and there was a point where I thought I could change the lounge area into a 3rd room, but actually it was going to take a lot more work than probably it was worth. So in the end, I've got a 2-bedroom house as opposed to a 3-bedroom, and rather than renting out the rooms individually, I'm just renting it out as a single like family or couple household, because it's a 2-bedroom house with just 1 bathroom and a toilet. So it would be a bit inconvenient if I had like 2 separate individuals living in the same place, but there's only like 1 set of like facilities, like 1 toilet and bathroom in the same place. So yeah, that's what I'm doing as a family let. Next question, this is an interesting one. What was the biggest mistake you made in your house purchase journey, and how will you have done it differently with the knowledge you have now? I don't really feel that I've made any mistakes in buying this house. I feel like I was quite thorough. If anything, the only mistake I may have made was paying a mortgage advisor who essentially was looking at the same deals that me and my dad also found online ourselves. So that would have been the worst mistake that I made. But again, I wouldn't call that too much of a big deal, because at the end of the day, everything it's a learning curve, isn't it? So yeah, I don't really feel like I've made any big mistakes, and the reason is because I've had so many like great people around me, people that deal in property, supporting me, having my dad around, and like just being able to pick people's brains who have gone through the whole house purchase journey, and just being able to get advice from them to make sure that I don't make any mistakes and basically go about it in the best way possible. So guys, that brings me to the end of the Q&A. A lot of the questions were repeat questions, so I've just not repeated those same questions over and over again, and just answered them in the couple that was slightly different. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this Q&A. I hope you've enjoyed the video in general, and please do let me know if there's any other topics that you'd like me to cover, if there's anything more you'd like to know about the house journey, or just anything else in general. Give me ideas and suggestions about content that you'd like to see from me, and I will surely make sure that I do go about and producing content like that. So thanks again for your support, and thank you for watching. Catch you next week, guys. Bye.